Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 2 in our Beginner to Bosser series. So hopefully you enjoyed the first one and you're starting to pick up the ropes on how to play your character and just how to get into Maple and stuff like that. I just wanted to preface this episode by re-emphasizing that these are longer episodes because there's a lot of standing and talking. So I'll do my best to insert little jump points if you want to just go from one concept to the next and you don't really want to go through the whole video. That's totally fine. This is meant to be a resource for you to come back and revisit and not necessarily follow along word for word. That being said, this is a longer episode, and as we are getting into bossing in this episode, I introduce a few more in-depth concepts and I'm really trying to cover all my bases here, so this might be a little bit of a longer episode with a little bit more of just standing and talking, trying to discuss and show different parts of the game in as clear of a manner as possible. I'm doing my best, but if there is something I ended up skipping over, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below. People were helpful enough to let me know some things I might have missed in the first episode, and I try to cover it in this one here. So keep on doing that, and hopefully we can help the community and help newer players get into the game. So let's get into this. Back with our character, Small Ducks, and we're going through this little beginner series to hopefully help you all get back on track or become more interested / less intimidated by all the stuff this game has to throw at you. Last we ended off getting to level 30 and getting our first job advancement. Now we are a gunslinger, swashbuckler extraordinaire. We did leave off here, and this is nice because you don't have to go back to killing mobs like a barbarian to level up. Now we can actually do some quests. So the first quest that I would recommend, all of your quests that you generally are going to be interested in are going to be in this light bulb here. And if there are any events, you can get access to them here with the star. So now that we have access to these, let's go to the LNL Ferry Academy. You can really go to any of these that you want, Golden Beach or Rihanna Strait. All of them are going to be themed dungeons that get you all the way up to level 50 to 60. I'm going to be going to LNL Ferry Academy because I like this one the most. Now that we got teleported here, after accepting that quest, we can talk to Fanzy and he's going to allow us to get into the academy. Let's go down here and jump into here. So just by getting here, we leveled up to level 31, and I'm not going to be stopping at every single level so that we can get through this a little bit quicker and not be sitting around leveling up a million times every episode. Just make sure to try to get through each of these areas by generally completing the quest. If you get lost, press J, open up your quest page, and you can look at the one that's in progress, and you can navigate to it if you want. It should show up on your map and highlight just like it is here, and that'll allow you to get through the quests. And if you have access to a hyper teleport rock, then you can get through this quest probably a little bit quicker by teleporting around much faster, but I want to keep this as genuine and authentic as possible. So I don't have the money for a hyper teleport rock currently, sitting at 176k, pretty strong, and likely you are too. So that's totally fine. A hyper teleport rock costs at least 5 mil and will allow you to teleport around without a cooldown, and we will be unlocking that as soon as possible because that'll really help us level up faster. For the time being though, we're just going to be going through this quest line as fast as possible, and I'll see you in just a second. So since we are going through this quest line, I've done just a few, leveled up a few times, and gotten to the LNL Ferry Academy proper. So now that we're here and accepting these quests, we actually have a nice opportunity to show you something that you're definitely going to want to know. So this merchant here, the Lynn Ferry, you can find a few different merchants throughout the game. Some sell different things, and this ferry actually sells some really useful stuff. If you need some potions, then these sprout potions are going to be really good for you. But the thing that we're actually here for is going to be the pet food. If you don't want your pet to get hungry and, kind of just wander off, they actually end up stop picking stuff up for you if you don't feed them properly. So we're going to pick up 200 of these, which should be more than enough for the time being. And we can put them on to a useful key. I like to put them on home. And then whenever you press it and feed them, they'll like you and you can continue on. So if you're a character, if you notice that your pet ends up just disappearing and you have to continually resummon it, then it's probably because it's hungry. So we just finished this quest line here at the Fairy Academy, and we saved all the kids, killed the rat. I don't really know the story, but we got through it, and we were able to kill all the mobs, get all the stuff, and got to level 60. If you aren't level 60, I will show you a place that you can go to. Again, we'll open the guide, go to F1, and you can go to any of these places, honestly. All of them are really good places for you to go for getting the rest of your levels. Let's say you get to level 55 and you didn't make it to 60 quite yet. That's totally fine. You have a few options. You can either go to another theme dungeon, which would be in your light bulb. You can either go to Gold Beach, is probably the one I would recommend, and finish out your level 60 there. But as soon as you hit the level 60, you're going to want to move on. So make sure you get to level 60. If you don't quite like that area for whatever reason, you can also go here to the one of the excavation sites, this one here. Excavation site, the intermission area. I'll even show you myself. So these mobs, if you're level 55, will be perfect for you. And you can go into this portal right here, which is like a secret room that some maps have, and this area cannot be accessed on any map, so you have to come here through that little portal that I showed you, and then you can just drop down and kill mobs. This is what I would recommend if you're below level 60 to get to level 60, and then once you get to the bottom, teleport right back up and do it again, and you're going to do this until you get the proper levels you need. Use these runes like I mentioned before, and this should help you on your way to 60 pretty quickly. So go ahead and just keep doing this till 60, and if you are lacking damage, remember what we said in episode 1, is to make sure to star force your gear. Make sure that you are also getting the proper amount of ability points and skill points allotted. This is another random event that gives you extra XP, so there we go. I'll show you. Make sure that you're not doing like I'm doing and allocate your points if you feel like you're lacking damage. Allocate all your points as you get them so that you can deal as much damage as possible so that you're not two-shotting. You want to be as close to one-shotting mobs as possible. If you're two-shotting, that's fine. If you're any more than 2 or 3-shotting the mobs, if it takes you 4 or 5 hits to kill an enemy, that might not be the best area, so either get more damage or get to a different area so it's a little bit more efficient for you. So now that we're 60, we can talk to the Maple admin, and we are going to skip this quest line. Typically, there would be a job 60 or a 60 level quest line. We're still going to have to do the job advancement though. We just skipped a little bit of story. And this is going to be pretty simple for an explorer. Like I said, it's different for every single class, but for Explorer, you simply go and talk to this guy and he gets you to 60. No problem. There we go. Now we're 60. So this unlocks a little bit more ability power as well as our new third job. Like I said, don't be like me and make sure to allocate your skills as you get them. So we got a new mobbing skill like I mentioned before. We got a new buff in Roll the Dice, so that's pretty cool. And on top of that, we can get some other stuff like Siege Bomber, which is a new summon for us. So we'll get that. And last thing, we will get a little bit more crit rate. Like I said, crit rate is really important. And I think with that, we are pretty close to 100. That'll make it so every shot we shoot is a crit. Oh, and before I forget, make sure to fully equip yourself with the proper gear. So hopefully you took my advice, leveled up all your skills and all of your ability points, and also make sure to equip stuff. So from our quest in the Fairy Academy, we've got a Fairy's Mark, some wings, a little title, and we actually found a gun on the ground with potential. So I'm not going to Star Force these because I don't really need the extra damage, but just look at that. We got 5 extra stars that we can get from here, the wings, the face, and most importantly, the weapon. So if you are running low on damage, make sure to at least have a few of your items starred up. That'll give you extra stats, extra attack power, and hopefully make it a little bit easier for you. And I did just want to remind you guys, once again, I know that I'm doing more damage than you, or your friends level up faster than you. It's not a race. It really isn't. Just make sure that you're continuing on, and like I said, take these tips. Make sure to be killing mobs at a recent or decent enough rate. Try not to compare yourself to others, or you will definitely want to burn out, because people have been playing this game for a long time. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the next area. As you level up, you can accept these rewards. These are rewards for newer players that happen here whenever you get to the next area. And it also shows the new main quest line, which is the Verne mine. Again, this can be accessed here on the left with the light bulb as well, and it'll say main next to it. These main ones are really going to be the ones we're focusing on from now until level 200. So at this point though, let's take a break and go to Genesis. We'll head over here and take a look at something real quick. So it might be at this point that your pet could be running out of time. My pet still has a few hours left, but it's not unlikely that yours has disappeared fully. So let's go over to the light bulb, go down and talk about pets. So this will take you through pets, tell you all about what they can do, how long they last for, and at the end of it, give you a really strong pet. This pet lasts for 3 entire days, not just 5 hours like the old snail. On top of that, this pet gives you some skills. I mentioned this in episode 1 very briefly. If you press U for equipment and go to pet, you can see that this pet actually has some stuff it can do. You cannot equip 2 pets at once, at least not right away. You're going to need a pet snack for that, but that's definitely a little bit out of our league. So as far as this goes, this pet will actually heal you. So if you drag your food over, you can set the different thresholds. I just put it at 95 or at, 10%. So anytime I take 10% of my life and damage, it heals me. I don't really know what's best. This is just what I typically use. And then if my MP gets really low, then it'll also use an MP potion. That's where I have it set at. I know a lot of people set it at 250-50. This is just what I've done for a long time. Like I said, I haven't looked into if this is good or not. Maybe Google it if you're way more interested than I am. So now this will auto heal for us. If we take damage, if anything happens to us, then it will automatically heal for us. So that is really, really nice. And like I said, this pet does last for 3 days. So make sure to do like I mentioned earlier, get some pet food because he's going to be around for a while. It also gives you this badge, which fills up a little badge slot. Not a ton of damage, but it's a little bit more on your way there. Another couple things we can do to try to help us out is we can actually ask about potentials. So potentials we learned about in episode 1, but this one actually will give us a little item. So it gives us an item in hopes that it'll teach us about potentials, and it does come with a potential. So feel free to reveal it, check it out, and start up if you want, and equip it because you probably don't have anything in your shoulder slot. That is almost the last thing. Last thing we have is bonus stats. So this is going to help us out, show us a bunch of stuff that we might or might not know. It really is just information, and it gives you a free ring, which again is just a little bit more damage. All of this to help you make sure you're killing mobs efficiently. So all of that is stuff that you can just randomly find on the left side that I know a lot of people tend to skip, but if you're struggling, that might be the difference maker for you. So we can go to Verne Mine and start doing our quest line. This is going to be how we pretty much level up to 200, is by doing these quest lines. Like I said, make sure to look out for all these guys with the golden light bulbs and golden books above their head. This is how you're going to get through the quests. For anything else, you can see above my head that there is a little arrow that tells you where to go. Make sure to follow that, and that'll get you through all of the quest lines for the most part. If you need help, I know some people get stuck on certain things, then I would recommend looking up guides. I think there are at this point guides for all of these quests. I've more or less memorized all of them because I have done all of these several times. I still make mistakes here and there, but for the most part, I'm just going to be zooming through these a little bit faster than probably you. But again, it's not a race. Feel free to go ahead, take a break, go on your other characters. You don't have to do this all in one shot or anything like that. So yeah, make sure to take it at your own pace and do things that seem fun or cool to you. If you don't like questing, feel free to go kill mobs as well. This is just the fastest way I found to do it. and the way I enjoy playing the game. So that being said, that disclaimer out of the way, I'm going to knock out all of these quests. And lastly, yet again, if you do get stuck, you can always go here, see the quest, navigate if you need to, and it'll show you where you need to go. So that being said, let's move on to the next area. Hey everyone, it's Future Small Duck here. I just wanted to jump in and give you guys a few more tips. I know this can be really difficult and confusing, especially for a new player, and also some concerns about certain quests and stuff like that. So this is totally fine if you are struggling with quests. Almost none of the quests in this game are intuitive or easy the first time around. So it's totally fine if you get stuck. If you need even more help than what I suggested already, that's totally fine. If you do get stuck, like really stuck, there's actually a great resource I know that's pretty underutilized by a lot of players, and that's going to be the wiki. So whenever you do go in here and Google a Maplestory Wiki, the first thing that comes up for me at least is the maplestorywiki.net, and this is going to be the one that I recommend using. There's been a few others in the past, like Maplestory Fandom and stuff like that, but I think this one is more up to date and more like actively kept, so that's why I particularly like to use this one. Let's say you were stuck on one of the Verne mine quests. I already looked it up here, so you could just go through and look up Verne mine quests. These are the main quest stories that we're just working through right now, and these are all of them. So if you do get stuck, you can try to find the name of the one that you're working on, click on it, and you can see who you need to talk to, what you're going to need to do. This one's kill 50 raccoons, and then you got to collect or talk to the guy again. It even tells you what you get and the prerequisites if there are any, so hopefully that helps you out. This doesn't have every quest in here. For example, I tried to just randomly look up the Mushroom Castle quest line, and it pretty much had like no information on Mushroom Castle, so it's not going to have everything you need, but all of the quests that we're going through here are fairly well documented because they are all the main story quest lines. Last thing, I did see some people point out that not every single job quest is going to be something you're going to want to do, and I totally agree. I was mainly saying if you are stuck on getting your next job advancement, I would go through and look at a few of those job quests that are labeled job next to them. The one quest that a lot of people were highlighting is this one. It's called Empress's Might. This is for explorers only. It is a random quest that you get at level 70. It just pops up and it does say job next to it, so you might be inclined to do it. It asks you to kill desert rabbits, and this quest randomly takes like 20 to 40 hours to do, and it's really not worth it. This is the main one, the main culprit they're pointing out, and I do recommend if you are stuck on a quest for quite a few hours, or it seems really weird, go through and also check up that quest, because this one is a well-known culprit for leading people astray. So I was mainly saying if you are stuck on job advancements and stuff like that, second or third or fourth job advancement, then maybe try a few of those job quests. I know I had problems with that with my Demon Avenger and Demon Slayer because they have a different job thing in order to advance. So that's just a few recommendations. If you are stuck for a while, that's unusual, come in here, check out the quest. So that's my last couple tips if you are stuck on job or quest stuff. There we go. Just like that, we're at level 79. Unfortunately, I do think for the next set of quests that we want to get to, we do have to get to level 80. So because of that, I'm just going to open up the guide here and see where it suggests I go. I know I like Stairway to the Sky 1, so I'm going to go there and just finish out this level, which shouldn't take too long. So a cool thing that I get to show you guys, because I did go and train in this map, is one, these elite mobs show up sometimes that I just killed right there. But also, these portals show up sometimes. The red one with the wolf, I generally feel like isn't worth it, but these yellow ones, the Poyo and Frito portals, these portals actually can be pretty good XP. They stay up for a little while, randomly show up, and you can go into them and there's a random minigame. Some give more XP, some give less. This one is actually a really good one and will make it so I should get pretty close to, if just not hit level 80. It's a nice boost in experience. Every once in a while, once you get to a certain level, you'll get a purple one, and that one's really good for experience. So I'd recommend jumping into these whenever you can. you'll see that I'm leveling up pretty quick in here just because all of these mobs are actually like empowered XP mobs, so they're going to make it so that leveling is really fast. There's just 3 waves that you need to clear out in this minigame, and we should be doing that no problem here. And bam, just like that, we did hit level 80, finished it, talked to our guy, and he sends us on our way. Pretty easy, simple, and this is a good map to train in if you need more XP around this level. For us though, we're going to move on to the next quest, which is going to be for Azwan, the Alliance mission. Go through here and we are going to talk to Nineheart. Nineheart gives a lot of quests, so make sure not to tab through them too fast. Once you unlock all of them, you might accept the wrong quest and be sent to the wrong place. So we're going to help out the people of Azwan over here in the desert, and they are going to be grateful and give us quite a few levels just for a little bit of work. I think it's around 10 or 15 minutes, and we should get hopefully around like 7 levels or something like that. So we'll get through this real quick and move on to the next one after that. So we're able to finish off the 5 levels from that quest line. I like that quest line a lot because there's actually pretty much no teleporting needed from that quest line. So we can actually just follow it along and not have to use any of our teleport cooldowns. Something I forgot to mention while going through all this stuff is one of these quests is much more important than the others, and that's going to be the Explorer token. This I think you get at level 60 or 70. Let's see. It is 60. And this just replaces your old emblem, which is currently nothing, with this silver one. That's going to be important because you get another one at level 100, and you have to do the quest for that one as well, which is just accepting it. And that'll be your best in slot gold emblem for a incredibly long time. So just make sure to look out for that quest whenever it does pop up at level 100 if I forget to mention it. Next, we're going to go on to Magatia's Secret. This questline I know is a little bit more difficult or confusing for a lot of players just because it is technically like 3 or 4 questlines at once, like all together. So make sure to look up a guide if you want to, if you get stuck or if you want to do it a little bit faster or something. Feel free to look up a guide. I think there is a few of them, and I already memorized this, so it won't take too long for me though. Okay, so we're going to finish up this Magatia questline here. There's one additional free quest here on the left side. Just talk to Philly and she'll give you another free level. That gets us to 100. So that is a pretty nice milestone for most characters. Really exciting, honestly. Especially if this is one of your first characters or, even your first. So now that you're 100, you can do yet another important thing. I almost forgot last time, but not this time. I got the free golden token. So like I said, this is going to be your best in slot emblem for a very long time. On top of that, we have level 100. This is going to be your 4th job. So go ahead and job advance. It wasn't showing up for me, so I just went into the guide and hit this little area, did the quest, talk to my instructor, and this should be me getting a new job advancement. There we go. So I am now a Corsair. I'm in charge of pirate. What is my name? What is your name? Samuel? I don't know why I gotta do this. You have access to a skill that allows you to jump up really high. What's the name of the skill? It's called Wings. Are you afraid of death? Nah. Are you proud to be a pirate? Of course. If you're ready for your own battleship, fire away. Let's go. Alright, cool. So that's a special pirate thing, I think. So if you go into here, you'll have access to like a special pirate thing. It's like a boat thing. So anyways, besides that, that's a special pirate thing that you probably won't get access to. Now that we have gotten to level 100 though, make sure to do as I say, not as I do, and try to level up all your stuff as you go so you don't feel weak as you progress your character, because the mobs will be leveling up, but if you don't level up your skills, then they'll casually get stronger than you do eventually. So I'm going to level up all my skills real quick and allot all of my points. So now that I've allotted all my skill points and also all of my ability points, We can take a look at 4th job. This is typically when a lot of jobs start to kick off. As you can see, I have so many more things here than I did in any of my other jobs combined, really. So just take it slow. Go through your character, see what you, or go through each of your skills rather, see what you really are interested in, what seems like good skills. And I'll give you some tips on how to further progress your character or understand your character a little bit better when we get to around level 140. So feel free to go to the next episode if you want to get into that. For us now though, I already have the skills that I need in order to progress a little bit more. So because of that, I took my mobbing skill and my bossing skills because it's pretty important. We are actually going to be doing a little bit of bossing. So whenever we get to level 100, I like to make sure to do my bosses. Bosses typically reset at 5 p.m. PST, that's Pacific Standard Time. So if you do not know what that is, just make sure to look up the conversion, or there's plenty of websites that tell you whenever things reset in the game. So the daily reset timer is 5 p.m. PST. So make sure to keep that in mind. That counts for bosses, daily bosses as well. So because of that, we are going to go fight a boss. We've been talking about it. Let's go be about it. Whenever you go to Zakum, I just went into my boss menu. This is F4 for me. So here we go. Keep binding. This is what it looks like. Party bossing F4. And I went to Zakum. This boss you could technically do on easy mode earlier, but we wanted to do it on normal mode. Whenever you get here, chances are there's going to be a guy or person just standing on one of these 275 chairs. If not, go to a different channel by pressing the comma key, or you can just change channel here by pressing the escape key in the settings. And go to any of them. Typically one will have a lot of guys here. As you can see, go ahead and click on any of them, and once per day you can up their fame. Literally only once. And if you do, you get a little buff here. Mine's practically running out. I was using it earlier for some reason, and it gives you extra damage. So it's nice to have when going into a boss. That's why everyone stays here. Let's go into normal. At level 100, you should be able to beat this guy up on normal. Make sure to enter him and drop the eye. This will summon him. Make sure to buff up your character as best you can. Drop down any summons you might have and avoid the slams on the ground. Those red ones right in front of you. This guy's got a lot of arms, so it might be a little intimidating. Try not to break the arms as best as possible. If I had a tip for this boss, I'd recommend going to the middle, right where I am right here, and make sure you look at one side or another. If you break all of his arms, he'll go into like this invulnerability mode. And you can also up jump so you don't get hit by the hands. But if you break all of his arms, he'll go into an invulnerability mode, which is not good for anyone. As you can see there, he almost killed me with one hit. Typically these do one-shot you. But we don't want him to go invulnerable, so just make sure to kill him and only break one half of his arms if possible. My summon was killing him the whole time while I was explaining it, so really easy. It might take a little bit longer for you, but you should, even if on a new account, should be able to kill him once you get your 4th job skills like we just did and are able to take him down no problem. Now, killing him got us to level 102. So that's pretty exciting. Now we have some more skill points and more ability points. We can further explore all these skills. Like I said at the very beginning of the series, you get all of these eventually. Don't worry about if you feel like you picked the wrong one. You will eventually max out all these skills. There's no wrong choices here. Just make sure to try to get to 100 crit rate. That is definitely going to be a good thing. And get at least one mobbing skill and maybe any passive skills that look interesting or useful. Such as for us, this Jolly Roger. It looks like it's a bit of a buff that gives us 1% attack power. But if we level it up more, it should give us more. There we go, 6% attack power, so I'll slowly get this up because it looks pretty nice, and everything else as well, slowly while we level up. Before we end off this episode, I did want to mention one more thing. Let's head over back to Genesis. Actually, we'll go to Kerning City for a little bit of a change of pace, change of view. So now we've been playing for some time. This is rounding out the end of this episode here, and we got the crystal from the boss. We also got some boss gear. We can equip it if we can. Some of this might be a little too high level, but luckily for me, it has reduced level on it, so I can actually equip these two things. Boss items are going to be the core of your character for a long time, so equip them if you can. Might make you look a little goofy for the time being, but that is how it is. Hey everyone, from the future again. I just wanted to pop in here because I didn't do the best job explaining how boss crystals work, and they are pretty important, so I'll go through really quickly and hopefully give you some info here that's really useful. So I have a few different boss crystals here just to show you the difference. So whenever you do talk to the collector, this is the only guy you can sell boss crystals to, and there's two different kinds. There's the daily ones, which you can sell as many of these every day as you possibly want, up to the weekly maximum. This is your weekly maximum of total boss crystals. So I didn't mention that before, but the 140 that you have to sell every week, at least I think it's 140, that is across all of your characters, and this includes daily and weekly boss crystals, because there are two different ones. So as you can see, these purple ones are the weekly boss crystals, and each character can only sell 14 of these, and it keeps track of it right here for you. So this is 14 for this character. If I logged onto a different character, I could sell 14 more of those weekly ones. All of it is considered part of the cap though, so even if I have 50 more weekly boss crystals that I have to sell, I can only do the 48. So if that does happen, or if you have like 20 weekly boss crystals that you have to sell on one character, you can only sell the 14. So that means you're gonna have to sell 14 and then keep some for the next week, or you'll just have to toss them on the trash, or in the trash, or just on the ground. So make sure to keep that in mind. Only kill the 14 most valuable bosses whenever you do go bossing, and make sure to keep track. Chances are you're not going to hit the 140 boss crystals every week anyways, at least not until you get a few characters rolling and doing bosses every week. This is just to hopefully let everyone know that there's two different kinds of boss crystals, and as you can see, if I sell one, there it goes down to 13, so that keeps track of it. And then if I sell a daily one, the total number goes down, so not the weekly. So there you go. That's just a quick little information reminder on how boss crystals actually work. I didn't do the best job of describing how that works, so make sure to keep that in mind whenever you go ahead and start killing some bosses. So now that you have gone through a few bosses, you've done a bit of training, I figured now it's a good time to show you a few extra resources that'll give you some extra XP and also help you whenever you are continuing on in your journey. So you might be running out of potions at this point. If you join a guild, you get some free potions, which are great. And also you get some power elixirs from bosses, but you might not have many early on. Instead of going to an NPC and buying more potions or anything like that, the best option is probably going to be these ginger ale. They heal for 75% of your HP and MP at the same time, which is really handy. And 75%, while it's not 100 like these other ones, it pretty much heals you to full as long as you're not extremely low on health. I'll show you two great tips for going and getting these because you're going to be in the same area anyways. I think I mentioned in episode 1 that I favorited Mushroom Shrine, and I'll tell you why right now because I kind of forgot to. So Mushroom Shrine, for anyone that doesn't know where it is, it's right above Victoria Island here. So if you zoom out of Hennesis, right above it to Zapangu. This is Mushroom Shrine. This is going to be the starting area for all the high autos and stuff like that. So this is an important place because if we look at chat, typically I have my chat in pop out mode, but I'll show you what it looks like here. Someone just put this up, so this is great timing. So as you can see here, someone said MVP 50% XX22 Shrine channel 27. So to decipher that, someone is saying that at this time, XX22, because everyone's in a different time zone, that just means right now it's 11:20. That means that whenever it's 11:22, or whatever hour, that's why the XX is there, 22. So if it's 9:22 for you, for example, then it would still be 22. So in 2 minutes from now, they're going to go to Shrine, which is Mushroom Shrine. Sometimes people will say MS, which is Mushroom Shrine as well. Then go to channel 27. We can actually go here and just check it out, so I can show you what I mean. So then we'll go to channel 27, and you'll see that people are slowly starting to filter into this channel. So people are showing up in droves because This is a great map to favorite. This is why I recommended it, because once you get here, people are going to drop this MVP buff at the shrine, and everyone in this map, all these people showing up, including yourself, are going to get 50% bonus XP. This is a great thing to know whenever you're doing quests, doing bosses, killing mobs especially. All these things give you XP, and this is just one way to get a bit more XP. So I'd recommend coming in here whenever these are going if you want the extra XP and participating, because it's free and it only takes a few seconds, especially if you time it correctly. But we're not training, so that's not important for us. What we want to do is we want to go over here to Showa Town, actually. We want to go to the back streets of Showa Town into the street market. See, there you go. I got the MVP, so we got the extra 50% buff, even though that's not really super important to us right now. But we do want to go over here to Showa Town. Gonna buy a premium teleport rock so we're not on cooldown. So go to the back streets of Showa Town real quick. All the way on the left side of the map. This is the far left side of the map. We have Doran. So you might be familiar with Doran's blades from League of Legends. Well, this guy is even better because he sells ginger ales. These are super, super nice. These are the ones I talked about before, and you can buy as many as you want here. So if you are running low on potions, this is going to be the go-to for practically everyone. Also, a lot of people don't know that these candied apples are really good. They last for 30 minutes. It's just a little bit extra stat, helps with bossing. And these ciders are really good, but unfortunately they only last for 5 minutes. Those are two good things to remember when you are bossing. Also, another final thing, I actually don't really see pretty much anyone talk about this, just because I don't think a lot of people do Maple Tour. But if you do Maple Tour, we can go over here, head to Maple Tour. If you do Maple Tour, which is 2 runs every day, then you can actually buy stuff from this travel bag with the coins you get. And one of the things you can get is this power elixir. So you can buy a few of these if you just buy 10, which is really easy to get 10 coins. If you buy 10 of these, you'll have 1,000 power elixirs, which will be plenty for most people. And you'll be able to sustain yourself here. Once you get into bosses, this is not going to be a problem, but those are just a few options I wanted to mention early on. Because I know, especially like in Challenger World, I do remember I had kind of a bit of trouble sustaining my potions early on, so I did have to buy a bunch of those ginger ales. Probably going to be wondering, like, what's up with these cards? Why do I still have these cards? So these are the familiar system in the game. This system can be a little complicated, so I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Go ahead and, if you've picked any of these up while training, double click them and add them. We can do it for all 4, or all 3 that I have here. Now that we have these, make sure to open your familiars tab. But before we do that, actually, go over here and click on this button that says New. This is going to explain everything you need to know about familiars. I'd recommend reading through it as much as you can so that you kind of understand the familiar system. And click through it again. This will give you access to familiars now. It's actually an item you equip, but it's not like it'll ever get replaced, it's just there. Double click it and it gives you this familiar panel with overview, setup, collection, badge, and shop. For now, we're going to focus on collection and setup. So this is the 4 that I just double clicked and entered into my inventory, and they actually are like items, essentially. This little question mark can be clicked on, and it costs money to reveal them, so let's reveal just all 4 of these. As you can see, you get different lines, continuously heals yourself, or we got other ones that increase your crit rate. So as long as these are useful to you, if, like, let's say you wanted crit rate, you can drag it into your setup window and you can equip one of them. If you want to equip more, like 2 or 3, then you'll have to collect badges. You collect badges by getting the cards that you just saw, any of these cards, from these particular mobs. So if I wanted a starter badge, I'd have to kill and collect the cards for the snail, blue snail, spore, and red snail. Once that happens, I'd get a badge and I can slot it in here. Once you get 1 badge, you get access to the second slot, and once you get 10 badges and fully fill up this plus 2, then you get access to the third one. So you can have up to 3 familiars out at any time. And this is where you hear things like boss familiars or healing familiars. These familiars can get really useful lines such as heal yourself and others for a large amount or deal additional damage to bosses. So if you wanted to get an extra 3% crit rate while you have this familiar out, then you can slot them in, hit save. There's 2 different presets you can have, so you can have like a boss damage one and then a healing one already set up, and then we can summon it. So typically whenever you actually go through the little quest line for familiars, it gives you access to a new skill in your beginner's basics called Summon Familiar. I typically put this on my F11, so feel free to do that if you want as well, or put it wherever is nice for you. And then whenever I hit F11, there it is. Now I have a little water sprite following me. So while he's out and active, I have plus 3% crit rate. As you can see there, it says equipment item 3%, and that is from my familiar. But once he goes away, I hit F11, then it goes back down and it's gone. So that's how familiars work on the most basic level. If you wanted to go ahead and decide you don't like any of these familiars, you can extract them too. You can't extract any that are equipped, so that's why it only gives me 3. And it gives you familiar points. With these familiar points, you can buy any of these things in the shop. Typically, you only buy familiar essence, which allows you to use your familiars for longer. As you can see, there's a summon gauge, and once this runs out, you can't summon your familiar anymore. It lasts longer or shorter depending on what level your familiar is or how much defense they have. So, if you need it for longer, if you're doing bosses for a very long time, you might need to buy a few of these familiar essences with familiars that you have deconstructed. That's generally the idea of familiars. There's more that I can go into later, but for the time being, that's all that matters for familiars. There's going to be a ton of information on fusing familiars, upgrading familiars, and what types of familiars you're going to want to go for, but that's going to be a conversation for much later. I thought I'd throw that in here as you're getting to level 100 and starting to get into more complex systems, so I thought I would introduce you to it now. So that is going to be it for this character. We've got to 100, got our 4th job unlocked, and killed our first boss. So congratulations if you're following along and doing this yourself. And this is our first boss, then nice. There's many more to come, and you can kill that boss that we did earlier every day, once a day, on every character if you'd like. He will drop 2 notable drops, which are the face and the eye accessory, so make sure to get them and equip them as soon as possible. You can star these up and add potential if you like. You'll be using them for quite some time. So that's going to be it for this episode, and we're going to get into the next one in just a moment here.